pleased to introduce Nima, co-founder CEO of Eterno. Before he got in the apparel content game, Nima has spent a ton of time in the logistics space and is even an advisor to a handful of companies, including Arka. Nima, thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
One thing we often talk about is gross margins and how it impacts decisions around logistics, whether it's shipping, warehousing, or packaging. How did you think about sourcing your packaging when you decided to move forward with shipping your product?
Well, to make an educated decision, I looked for some market data on how much large and small companies alike spend on fulfillment, meaning everything from packaging, shipping, thank you cards, pins, tape, etc. On the large end, Amazon spends about 15% of sales on fulfillment, and they have crazy scale. So I asked several e-com founder friends, and looking at internal data from some of the companies I actively advise, for most of the rest of us, we will likely spend somewhere between 15 to 25% of sales on fulfillment specifically.
Okay, so what this means is if your average order value is $100, you're not going to be spending more than like 15 to 25 bucks on fulfillment.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, cool. So why don't you give us a real life example?
To start, gross margin is the difference between revenue and cost of goods sold divided by revenue. So if on average it costs you 30% to make your product, then on average your cost of goods sold are $30, assuming $100 average order value. Now, let's assume you spend 15% on fulfillment, meaning $15. So out of your $100 sale, 45 goes to A, making your product, and B, fulfilling it.
Sure.
This leaves you with $55 per product to pay yourself and staff, advertise on Google and Facebook and billboards and send smoke signals and buy whiskey and dog food. So to build a profitable business, you'll want to do the math on how many things you need to sell to make payroll and buy dog food.
Okay, so how much are you guys spending?
In our case, we spend about $21.50 on fulfillment. So that came for us to about 21.5% of sales on fulfillment.
Sure.
And specifically, we spend $5 per box, $10 per shipping label, $5 per pin, $1 per thank you card, 30 cents per sticker, and about 12 cents per flap and seal bag.
Why did you go with printing just on the inside of the boxes?
This decision was actually down to my co-founder, shouts to Big Raj, who suggested we ought to print only on the inside to try to avoid getting our boxes stolen with any flashy designs on the outside. And knock on wood, we've actually had awesome feedback from our customers telling us what a cool experience it's been for them to open a white box and see the designs on the inside. And we haven't had any boxes stolen.
Rad. I love this box. It's perfect for apparel. But why didn't you choose to go with a bag?
As I learned from you, to get custom poly bags, we would have to commit to a much higher minimum order quantity than we were comfortable with, which also meant higher upfront costs. Sure. So we opted for the best solution being these wonderful Arka mailers.
Yep. It's a nice mailer. It's an even nicer shirt. Nima, thank you, as always, for your guidance.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. So if you want to play around with your own numbers, we've provided the same worksheet Nima used. So take a look and apply it to your business. Let's just quickly read through what a quote looks like and the costs involved. To summarize, you'll see your setup costs, if any, like tooling, print plates, and all that. Shipping costs, which sometimes are calculated after shipment. And of course, your per unit costs and the specs that go along with it. If you're printing digitally, you don't need to worry about this. But if it's flexolitho print, be prepared for what's called an overrun. An industry standard is 10%. So if you order 1,000 boxes, you're expected to receive as few as 900 up to 1,100 boxes. Although China can sometimes produce packaging for less, it's really the labor and material that you're saving on. Prices for made in the USA can average up to 3x the cost per unit versus China. But wait, let's talk about shipping time and costs, not to mention customs when ordering from China. You could freight your packaging by sea, and that can take an average of 30 days to get to you. Pay a little extra, and you're looking at a 2-week trip by air. It sometimes takes only a few weeks when ordering in the US and will be delivered in a truck. Let's do an example. Let's say you order 500 medium-sized boxes from China at 45 cents each. Shipping takes 30 days and around $600, not including customs. Now you order 500 of the same box here in the States at, let's say, $1.19 each. Shipping takes 12 days at a cost of $110. Break that out, and you have a total cost of $1.65 per box in China and only $1.41 per box in the USA. Winner, USA.